Good evening. Welcome to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. Tonight, I'm going to continue my Black History series, and I'm going to talk about Hiram R. Revels. Now, Hiram R. Revels was born September 1st, 1822 in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and he died January 16th, 1901 in Aberdeen, Mississippi. He was an American clergyman, an educator who became the first black citizen to be elected to the United States Senate in 1870 and 71 during Reconstruction. He was born to free parents. When he was young, he traveled to Indiana and Illinois to receive the education that was denied to him in the South. He was an ordained minister in the African Methodist Episcopal Church in 1845 and eventually settled in Baltimore, Maryland, where he served as a church pastor and a principal of a school for blacks. Soon after the Civil War began, in 1861, he helped organize two volunteer regiments of blacks for service in the Union Army. 2 years later, he joined the federal forces to serve as a chaplain to a black regiment stationed in Mississippi. After the war, Revels settled to Natchez, Mississippi, to preach to a large congregation. Despite some misgivings about entering politics, he accepted appointment by the military governor as alderman 1868 and was later 1869 elected to the state senate. Although Revels was a Republican, he was anxious not to encourage race friction with white Southerners. He therefore supported legislation that would have restored power to vote and to hold office to disenfranchised members of the former Confederacy. In January 1870, he was elected to the U.S. Senate to take the seat vacated by Albert G. Brown in 1861. He performed competently in office, advocating desegregation in the schools and on the railroads. On leaving the Senate, Revels became president of the Alcorn Agricultural and Mechanical College, a recently opened institution of higher education for blacks near Lorman, Mississippi. In 1874, however, he was dismissed from the college presidency. In 1875, he helped overturn the Republican government of Mississippi, defending his action on the grounds that too many politicians in that party were corrupt. He was rewarded by the Democratic administration, which returned him to the chief post at Alcorn in 1876, where he remained until his retirement. Now, looking at all this information, if you break everything down, most of us African Americans who don't know our history would have said President or former President Barack Obama was the first sitting senator. No, that's incorrect. In fact, this gentleman was part of a HBCU, and that HBCU is still around, and we know it as Alcorn State University. It used to be called Alcorn Agricultural and Mechanical College, or Alcorn A&M. The good thing about Mr. Revels is he was a leader. He had gone through being disenfranchised himself when it came to education. That's why he had to come to the Midwest, Indiana and Illinois. Now, I want everybody to take a step back and really give appreciation for this gentleman. Because when it comes to politics, if you look at the African Americans today, 90% of them vote Democrat. He was a Republican. Now, he did something that was absolutely brilliant. The Democratic Party was the first political party. Then the Republicans, then the Whigs. The Whigs eventually they disbanded, but the Republican Party was corrupted, and He called out the corruption. But at the end of the day, Mr. Revels was the first black senator. And he also had tied to his name educator, and he was a pastor. But if you look at everything that this man has done, he was a leader in Congress. Remember, Mr. Revels was the first black senator elected to the U.S. Senate. And you know, in those days, slavery was still going on. And you have to remember, black people were not allowed to be educated. And with that being said, I have to show appreciation because the forefathers had most of us on a plantation working for free to please him. But if you look at this gentleman and previous African American gentlemen and ladies, they made it through troubled times. And that being said, why is it so difficult for us today to make it through troubled times? Because white supremacy was much tougher then than it is now. In fact, black people really had to prove themselves and had to work twice as hard. Not that we don't have to work twice as hard today. We do. But because of people like Mr. Revels, Benjamin Banneker, and some of our other leaders who came after Mr. Revels, they actually laid the carpet down for us. But if you look at it today, we're more divided today. And that's a big problem. So I want everybody to take a look at this video. And please give this video a thumbs up because I'm giving you a lesson in history about a person that you would never hear about in any public school. So, at the end of the day, here's another champion in the black community that achieved being the first in the political arena in Congress, a member of the Senate. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 401 Talk Zone radio show for this evening, Saturday, February 11th, 2017. You can tune in to the 401 Talk Zone radio show every Monday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Guest call-in number is 215-383-5785. And if you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 401 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube so I can continue to give you quality information for educational purposes from a professional and mature perspective. Now, on this channel, I do not utilize any debating or confrontation, social issues, or emotional issues. Now, if I do talk about an issue that is deemed controversial, I'm going to break it down into an intellectual, educational issue so you'll understand my position, and I'm going to be very objective. Also, I do not participate in drama or unnecessary bickering. My channel is designed to educate you on business, education, careers, and of course, politics. And what I'm doing is giving you the tools that you can apply to the real world so you'll understand how this system works. Remember, knowledge is power. And if you have a business or a topic that you would like for me to discuss, on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, please email me at lej6521@gmail.com. I'm going to give a shout out to my boy Reg the Bad Guy. Check his channel out. Rashawn DeLay. Check his channel out. And also my brother from Gary, Indiana, The Real Deal. And send all my prayers out to The Real Deal. He is recovering from the flu, and I wish him well. But get over there and subscribe to that brother's channel. Subscribe to Big Body Matt Colay's channel if you're interested in trucking, called Big Body Trucking. If you're interested in a career with Uber, subscribe to Brother Q Wilson. And if you'd like to leave a comment, and I do read my comics, make sure that you leave your comments in the comment section under the video. Please make sure that your comments are pithy. No bloviating, pettifogging, or filibustering if you wish to opine. That's it for this video. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. Remember, please be gentle and respectful to each other, and have a wonderful and blessed night. Good night.